Hey everybody, I just want to get on and encourage you. It is Silent Saturday, a time of Sabbath, rest for many of us in more ways than one, and a very significant time of the year. And I was just reflecting and thinking about, you know, what a different time it is. What a really time of unknown and uncertainty. And I was thinking of Joshua 3 4, when Joshua and the sons of Israel were getting ready to cross the Jordan, the officers went, through the camp telling the people to look out for the Ark of the Covenant. And only when they saw the Ark of the Covenant with the Levitical priests carrying it, then they were to go out. And this is what verse 4 says. It gave specific instructions of them crossing, and it said, "Yet a space must be kept between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Come not near it, that you may be able to see the ark and know the way you must go, for you have not passed this way before." And that phrase really stuck out to me, because he gave them specific instructions saying, you will know the way because you have not gone this way before. And I'm just thinking of the time that we're in right now. It is an unknown time. We've never been through this before as a nation, as a people, as a church, as a community. It's just so different, and we've never been that way before. And it led me to Isaiah 43:18, that said, "Do not earnestly remember the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive and know it? And will you not give heed to it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." And so, even in this time of the unknown, even in this time of which way do we go, Lord, what is happening? Trying to understand the times in the season, and trying to press in and hear from God and understand His ways. I just really am reflecting and meditating a lot on John chapter 10 and verse 1 through 4 specifically. And it says, "I assure you, I tell you, he who does not enter by the door into the sheepfold, but climbs up some other way, elsewhere from some other quarter, is a thief and a robber. But he who enters by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. The watchman opens the door for this man, and the sheep listen to his voice and heed it. And he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought his own sheep outside, he walks on before them, and the sheep follow him because they know his voice." And that just reminded me that, we're in a time of Sabbath rest. We're in a time of really seeking God, like the sons of Issachar, trying to understand his ways. They understood the times and the season. And they were a unique tribe because they understood the times and the seasons. And I just believe that this is a time where God has given us this rest, because the land heals when it is at rest. Our body heals when it is at rest. And so God is giving us this time of rest, God is giving us this time to lean in. This God has given us this time to just reflect on, Lord, what are you saying? Help me to understand this time and this season. We've never been this way before. This is the unknown, and so it is so imperative that we inquire of the Lord, that we seek the Lord, that we ask of Him. And I was just reminded, back in November of last year, I was preparing for a conference, and the title of the one of my lectures was pouring new wine into new wineskin, and I studied the wineskin and the new wine. And so and it was at that time too that the Lord had said to me, I want you to cancel all appointments. I want you to not travel for the first 6 months of 2020. I want you to come away with me. I want you to wait on me. I want you to rest in me. I want to show you some new things. I'm doing a new thing in your life. I want to pour new wine into the wineskin that I've been preparing. And so I obeyed, and I canceled all of my appointments, and I canceled travel. And in January, the Lord specifically said to me, Eunice, I've been preparing your wineskin for this last decade, this last 10 years. And many of you know, the trauma and the pain and the hurt that I'd gone through. And the Lord said, I've been preparing your wineskin, but now I am preparing the wine, the new wine, to go in to the wineskin. And I remembered that there's a process to winemaking, and winemaking is a natural process that requires very little human intervention, but each winemaker guides the process through different techniques. In general, there's 5 basic steps or basic components to the winemaking process. And it's the harvesting, and you have to pick the grapes at the right time. And I was just thinking of how God's timing is so perfect in everything. His ways are not our ways. His timing, his thoughts are far above our thoughts. And then the crushing and the pressing. We go through hard times. We go through trauma. We go through disappointments. We go through delays. We go through frustration. We go through hurts. And that's the crushing and the pressing. And then it goes through the fermentation. And then it goes through the clarification and the aging and the bottling. And the Lord said to me, in the season, in the Sabbath season that I'm calling you to, I am in the clarification process where I want to remove, in wine there are tannins, there's sediments, there are little particles that settle to the bottom. There are things in wine that's what has to go through that, fermentation, the clarification, and the aging, the timing process, before it gets bottled. And so the Lord said to me, in this season, I am preparing the wine. I'm getting rid of the sediments. I'm getting rid of any unwanted particles that is in that wine. I'm getting rid of any tannins. I'm getting rid of any impurities in this wine. And so he said, and it's new because I'm doing a new thing. The old is past. It's not going to look like it did before. It's not going to be the way it did before. And so often we can feel unsettled and uncomfortable because we've never been this way before. And so I just want to encourage you that even in the lockdown, even in the pressing and the crushing, and even in the unknown, and even in the uncertainties, and even in the anxious moments, God is doing a new thing. He says, my sheep hear my voice. I open the gate. I go before them. I lead them out. They follow me because they know me. And that word know speaks of intimacy, spending time with God, waiting on God, understanding his ways, understanding his purposes and his plans. And so I just want to encourage you, don't despise this time of waiting. Don't despise this new beginning, or what may look like a small beginning. Don't reject it. Don't push it away. But I want to encourage you to embrace this time. Lean into the Father. Spend time with him, getting to know him, so that we can hear his voice when he calls and when he speaks. We can understand the ways, and we can understand the season that he has us in, and we can be like the sons of Issachar. That was a unique tribe because they understood the ways of God, and they understood the times and the season. And so I bless your Sabbath rest. I bless your time that you can grow. I bless your time that you can go deeper. I bless your time that you can go higher. I bless your time of insight and understanding. And I just think of Isaiah 11:2, where John was baptizing Jesus in the Jordan, and the life-giving spirit of the Lord hovered over Jesus, giving him wisdom and understanding and insight and revelation and counsel and the fear of the Lord. And so I just pray that in the Sabbath time, God takes us back to his first love, that we become the sheep of his pasture, that we get back into the fold, that we will lean our ear in to hear what the shepherd is saying and which way the shepherd is leading each one of us, because each one of us has a plan, each one of us has a purpose. God has a unique, handmade, tailor-made plan for each one of our lives, each one of our families, each one of our children, each one of our spouses, each one of our communities, our churches. We have a unique identity. We have a unique DNA. And so inquire of the Lord. Spend time with him. Rest in him. Get refreshed in him. Get restored and renewed in him, so that we can be strong like the eagle and soar above all, and see from the perspective of an eagle, from above the perspective, and align ourselves with the ways, the purposes, and the plans of God. I bless you with the blessings of the Lord that makes rich and brings no sorrow with it. May his face shine upon you. May he be gracious. May he be kind to you. May he turn his face towards you. And may he give you peace. Shalom.